a lot of experience with ASPSU, but I'm really excited to get started and to do more things, to get students involved, and at least to give them more knowledge about what's going on campus and with everything that they need to know. Yeah.
All right, hi, I'm Shanae Jung. I'm just pretty excited to continue working with ASPSU next year on some of the projects that we've been doing, like the cultural competency and getting some student life projects going. So here's to hoping, right? No, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just excited to continue working with ASPSU. And cultural competency, thanks, Tia.
Hey everyone, so my name is Patrick Vroman. I'm currently a senator. I was elected last year. I have been serving on the Legislative Affairs Committee and the Equal Rights Advocacy Committee, and I'm running for senator again this year. And I'm also with the slate Stand Up, Speak Out, Stand Together. And I've been an activist all my life. I'm from Klamath Falls, Oregon, and I got my feet wet in the peace movement when the Iraq War was full steam. When I came to Portland State, getting involved in student government just seemed like the natural thing to do. I wanted to stay civically involved and try to make the world around me better. So I ran last year, and I've been serving this year, and it's been a pretty fun experience, and I'm really excited about next year. So that's it for now.
Next three, Luis, and people I can't see behind the podium. Sorry, Liddy. Stand here. I see you there. Would you like to go first? Ladies first, right?
Okay. Hi, I'm Liddy Champion. I'm running for Senate, and I'm actually a current senator with ASPSU. I was appointed earlier this year. I'm currently on the Equal Rights Committee and University Affairs Committees. My experience with ASPSU has been really positive. I've really enjoyed getting to do some of the work we've been doing. We've been working on cultural competency and sexual assault prevention policy, which I'm really passionate about, and I really excited to be a part of the elections process because I haven't previously, and I just want to continue the work I've been doing and hope to continue to be an effective member of student government.
Luis?
Go Luis! Vote Luis!
Thank you. Yeah. My name is Luis Perez. I am currently majoring in anthropology. I am graduating this year, but I decided to stick around a little longer to pursue a different major next year. I've been in student government for 2 years now, and let me tell you that I have learned more in the last 2 years that I've been in student government that I have in 8 years of being a student. Just gonna put that out there. I currently serve with the Equal Rights Advisory Committee, Sustainability Affairs Committee, and Academic Affairs Committee. We're trying to pass things like cultural competency. Trying to get more alter-able folks interested in student government, and food insecurity around campus. And I hope to make you guys proud. Thank you.
Angel?
Go Angel! Vote Angel!
Hello everyone, my name is Angel and I'm a sophomore here. I started here last year and I'm an out-of-state student. The reason why I want to get involved in Senate is because I don't see a lot of people like me up here, and I would like to see more people. So yeah, that's why.
Woo! Yep. Okay. One more. Come on up.
Hi everyone, my name is David Martinez. I'm right now part of SPSU and a member of the Student Fee Committee. And I want to, and also part of the slate Step Up, Speak Up, Stand Together. And a political science with focus in international development. I'm here to run for a Senate for next year because I think we need more participation by the students in PSU so they can speak up for their rights. They can stand up for what is right. And we need, I think, also, I'm a person of color, and I think I want to represent my community, Latino community, and all the community of color here in PSU. I want to be stand for issues that sometimes are being affected by our communities that are being disenfranchised, that are not being represented in society. And I think we need more students of color in SPSU, more students of color in universities, and that's why I'm here. And in vote for vote for me and vote for everybody.
Thank you, David. We're going to turn it over now to the Vanguard, and we're also going to get some questions from the audience as well. Keep in mind, candidates, that you have 1 minute to respond to the questions being asked. If you go over, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. I will hold up a 30-second sign to let you know that you're halfway through your minute, just so you know.
1 minute?
Okay.
It's 2 minutes. 1 minute? It should be maximum response for 1 minute.
Oh.
Is it 1 minute? We have 2 minutes for the closing.
Yeah,
But I
we
mean,
had it
can
1
do
minute last year because we had like 30
We can do 2
candidates.
minutes.
Let's do 2 minutes.
Okay.
So you're going to get an additional minute. So we'll have 2 minutes for response since there's only a handful of you up there. Again, I will hold up a 30-second card when you have reached the 30-second point. All right, I'm going to turn it over to the Vanguard.
So you all want to call up who you want to call up? Is that okay? Just try to circulate it?
Yeah, we
Do
do.
you know all their names?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This question is for Patrick. What single issue do you believe is the most pressing to the PSU community right now? Why is it so important, and how do you plan to address this issue over the next year?
I would say campus involvement is the biggest thing. We've had quite a few events over the term and several issues that have flared up, and I kind of feel like the word could have gotten out better so that more students would have been aware of these issues and they could have come out. I know, I organized a town hall about a month ago to get student input on how ASPSU is doing, get ideas about what we could be doing. It was a little bit of late notice. I take ownership on that. There could have been more people there if more notice had gone out. Repeat the second half of the question, please.
Why do you believe this issue is so important, and how do you plan to address it over the next year?
Well, it's important because there are several things going on right now that really affect us directly. Like one key thing is, two key things. The Board of Trustees just recently voted to increase our tuition almost 5%. Another thing, they're poised to arm campus public safety officers. These are big things that affect us, and the word's not getting out so much, and they really need to hear student input. One thing that I plan on doing is, back to the town hall thing, I really passionately feel like town hall should be a regular thing. I plan on making sure that they're regularly held. Either I personally try to make it happen, or form a team and the team makes it happen. One way or another, we'll get more town halls organized. That would.
That's your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you gonna call 3 people at that once?
I can.
That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Just so we can have them all full.
Sure. Okay. Okay. This question is for Liddy Champion, David Martinez, and Angel. What do you each see as the role of student government at PSU?
I can start. What I see as the role of student government is to firstly represent the students, which is one of the reasons why I was excited to get involved, because I feel like there are a lot of really important decisions being made and not a lot of people making them. So the goal is to represent the student body as well as possible and to make decisions that are in the best interest, not just for ourselves, but for the student body in general. And to represent the interests of the student body, not just, in our own sort of insular meetings, but to take that and represent it to people who have even more power than we do, and to keep that always in the back of our minds when discussing various issues.
I think the role of my role is not to be an interpreter. I want to speak directly about what students want. And that's it.
Okay. SPSU, what is SPSU? The student government of the university. The student government of any university should represent the interests of the students. Any student government should not be afraid to challenge administrators, not be afraid to challenge anyone when it comes to what it benefits the students. What I'm running also here is because this past year I didn't see enough student engagement in the process that, for example, the armed police force, where were the students when that happened? For example, the racial tuition, we have a rally with very small numbers of the students. What happened with that? If we were back in the 60s or the 70s, we were like, the school could be like shut down because for those measures. Right now, we see a lot of empathy from the students. This interest, literally, they just don't care. I think we need to change that. We also need to change the politics, the way that we see politics. Politics usually are being corrupt in any government. All governments usually, there are like these secret societies, where they perpetuate inequality, they perpetuate poverty, and they keep the capitalist system running. I think if we want to change the society we are living, we need to start here because we are the students, we are the future generation, and the future is in our hands. How to do it? Through student government. Join and change the politics, change the way you are seeing. You see something you don't like, join SPSU. Because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. We need to create a student backward, and that's not only here in PSU, but it's in the whole country, in the whole world.
Can you just mention that there's a new candidate here? Here, I'll do it. So we have a new writing candidate who is joining the stage right now, Monty. So if you want to give an opening statement, that would be great, so we can get to know you, and then we'll have you answer some questions.
Okay. Hi, my name is Monty Herron. I'm a grad student here at Portland State in the Grad School of Education. I've been here for going on 5 years now. I guess by way of introduction, I've spent most of that time networking and developing great relationships with the administration, other student leaders on campus, and my real area of interest is the intersections of different student communities, queer student community, the indigenous student community, and students with disabilities. So that is what I would bring to the table, is all of those years of networking and experience and the ability to help get things done on campus.
Thanks. You can have a seat.
All right, this question is for Lucero, Louise, and Monty.
Oh, you said Monty.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
It's like being at Mass.
In recent years, ASPSU has had a history of high turnover. How do you plan to combat turnover and preserve institutional memory?
I think that it's important to have people in government who are committed. I see myself as a very committed person, and if I do get elected, I plan on coming back if I can, if I get the opportunity. I think that's one of the ways that we can combat turnover is just creating a community within the Senate and backing each other up, having individually committed members, and I think having similar ideas and passions probably helps a lot too.
Speaking about commitment, this would be my third year again as a senator. I like to think that I'm a very committed individual. Like I said, I love student government. I've learned more in it than I have in 8 years of being a student. You know, people have lives, schedules change, people get jobs, and you know, to be honest, this is a hard question because sometimes, like I said, life happens. What we can do in ASPSU to retain more members is, like she said, create a better sense of community in ASPSU, hold more trainings like cultural competency trainings, finding more passionate people about it, because to be honest, I am a little bit embarrassed about the fact that there is a high turnover, and well, I can't be the only one combating that. So we'll find ways next year and the years after. We will preserve the institutional memory of ASPSU, I guarantee it.
So, the only real thoughts I have on this are, it's really about being firebrands and being leaders. Being a part of ASPSU is a leadership role. That means you have to step up and be a leader. Show your passion, show your engagement, show your energy, and that will energize other people and get other people who want to be involved. I spent 2.5 years as this school's mascot, as Victor Viking, sweating my rear off at every sporting event. So I know that for myself, I am committed to the spirit of this school. I'm committed to doing things like testifying on your behalf for 5 hours at the Board of Trustees meeting during finals week last term, all in a failed attempt to try and keep your tuition rate lowered. So, you know, you have to find people who are committed to the cause, and then who are willing to follow through on that, and who can engage other people and get other people to want to be a part of that. And that's the only way that's going to happen.
May I add a comment? I also wanted to say just that I think that it's also important to share the knowledge and the information that you get from being a senator and from being in student government, and share it with volunteers and people who want to get more involved. Because I think sooner or later you're going to leave the school, you're going to graduate, you're not going to be able to be in Senate anymore. But if you train these people who have been around you and around your government for a long time, they're going to know what to do. And they're going to know the processes of being in student government and how the government works. And I think that's important.
Thank you.
Okay, this question is for Patrick, Shanae, and Liddy. All right, we can start with you, Shanae. How would you manage working with people with whom you may not agree on certain issues?
So I manage it pretty well. I practice it almost daily. In the QRC, sometimes people don't see eye to eye on certain things, and mostly we just have to make sure that we are being respectful of their ideas and not being pointed in our comments. So if we have a problem, we say, hey, look, can you just not say this, and maybe we'll talk about it later, or find someone to mediate it for us. But I don't know, I usually just handle things hopefully calmly and respectfully.
So for me, I'd say, firstly, I shy away a little bit from conflict. I don't like to start it just for conflict's sake. I would say that if I have some difference with someone I'm working with on some project, especially this year, I've noticed that I just kind of focus on what we're doing right now, not this argument we had a month ago about whatever other thing. I just kind of focus on what needs to be done at the moment, where we need to go. That's pretty much it.
I tend to think most conflict and difference in opinions comes from, having different backgrounds, or not necessarily having different moral beliefs, but having different non-moral beliefs and defining terms differently. So I think a lot of things can be cleared up by just asking the other person, hey, what do you mean by that? How are you using this word? Where are you coming from? I think empathy and compassion are absolutely important in talking to and understanding people who have a difference of opinions than you do. You have to think about why they might have that opinion and be respectful, even if you really strongly disagree with it. I think it's important to disagree with respect and to be willing to take the time to talk to somebody and to make sure that you're not calling them out. Someone told me something recently, which was that you want to call people in, not call people out. So you want to talk to them in a way that engages them and brings them in. You don't want to talk to them in a way that isolates them or makes them feel afraid. So.
Thank you.
So with classes changing and people coming in and out, if you guys could maybe step closer to the microphone and kind of project your voice a little bit so everybody in the room can hear you, even in the back, that would be great.
This question is for Angel, Louise, and Shanae. Recently, cultural competency has been a very important project for ASPSU. Personally, how do you define cultural competency? And specifically, what plans do you have to further this work?
So, to me, cultural competency is being aware of the personal history that people have and the things that can trigger hurt in them, and also being respectful of other people's opinions and differences and accepting those things in people. I would like to continue working on the cultural competency and to continue the celebrations and workshops that we had this year on next year. And hopefully actually get involved with some of the actual policy writing, because I haven't done that this year. So.
To me, cultural competency is about understanding, and if you're not a part of a community, understanding the community and being able to bring your views into a community and contribute while not making the people in the community feel defensive. And it's important that outsiders put their input on inside views, because it opens people's minds, and I think we need more open-minded.
No two person is the same. We all have different backgrounds. I'm sure that's already been established. We're all different in our own little ways. And for us to establish cultural competency trainings for faculty and staff and other members of our community is extremely important. I have seen the surveys, I have seen the results, the things that students have said, the way that they have been treated in class. It's appalling, it's tear-jerking, literally, and disturbing. We want our students to succeed. We want our fellow students to succeed, to concentrate on their academics, and not to feel hurt. Some of the things I saw in those comments were, if a faculty or staff had said it to me, I would have just dropped the class. And what if this is the class that I need to graduate? We need to pass this policy as soon as possible, because quite honestly, I think that this is the next step in human civility. And the sooner we implement it, the better. I'm going to keep working with cultural competency, testifying at the Capitol whenever it is. I testified for Bill HB 3308 a few weeks ago during the spring break. And that's still in the works. I'm pretty confident that it'll pass, and I'll be where I need to be in order to get all this done, to pass cultural competency on campus.
Thank you.
Okay, this question is for Monty, Lucero, and David. So, historically, student government and student members of the budget committee have recommended against tuition increases. Even so, tuition costs have continued to rise. Do you have a plan to prevent these increases in the future? How will you ensure that student government and student voices are heard in a real and influential way?
I'll take first crack at that. So I spent 5 hours, as I said before, at the end of the term, this last term, during finals week, meeting with the Board of Trustees. I met with each trustee individually, exchanged information with them, networked, and you have to, I guess the first thing to understand is I needed to spend that 5 hours there for me to actually understand what the budget concerns are and what the difficult position is regarding tuition increases, and where we need to get compliance is with our senators. We need to spend more time on the Hill lobbying for our student body to get the kind of money that this school deserves. Right now, we're getting less money than U of O or Oregon State, and we have twice the enrollment that they do, and it's not fair. It's an inequitable system. So we have to lobby for that. But the beautiful thing is there are trustee members who want to work with us as students and be a united front to make that happen. So that would be my plan. That's my starting point.
Personally, I don't know if I have a specific plan on how to address this, but I know that the most important thing is to get students involved and give them the knowledge that they need. I know that a lot of the reason why there hasn't been a lot of turnout for things like petitions and stuff like that is because people don't even know that this is happening, and they don't know until they get their bill and they realize that it's higher than before. I think just making students aware that this is going on and how this affects them, and even if it doesn't necessarily affect them too much, maybe they have money to pay for school that their fellow students don't, and just making them aware that this is happening, I think it's the most important thing. I know it's been said a couple of times, but it's because I do think it's really, really important to give students the knowledge and to get them more involved.
First of all, I think the first thing that we need to do as student government is bring more a political atmosphere in the institution. Like, for example, the students, like today, they come to school to get a bachelor's, thinking that there is a job waiting for them outside. Well, we need to bring awareness about in the society we are living today, the society that is out there. Take the I don't know how to call the rub out of their eyes, and once they are aware of how the system works, how the system functions, where is the inequality, where the tuition is increasing, well, there will be mobilization and will be organization from the students. That will be the first step. Also, we can lobby for a more funding from the state for higher education. Well, why for all education, And also, I think we should advocate for free education. I mean, I'm one of those persons that believes that education should be a universal right, because education is the main principle for development in any society. And if we don't have those tools in this state or any society, we are going to fail as a society and as a human race. So first of all, we need we need awareness where we are, where we're going, and how we're going to get there. Otherwise, we're going to fail. And what we can do as a student government also is make students more engaged in the activities that they are being made, or the decisions that are being made by by the Board of Trustees, for example, and also follow where the money goes and who are taking those decisions. What is the connection that those people have with the institution, and if it's benefiting us or not?
Thank you. This question is for Shanae, Patrick, and Liddy. Recently, the university has made a concentrated effort to start a dialogue about sexual assault on campus and to create a safe atmosphere. What plans do you have to address sexual assault prevention policy, and how is this similar or different to the work student government is already doing?
Okay, I'll go first. So I haven't really been involved with the sexual assault policy that Senate has been working on. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I think awareness is a good thing to raise. I mean, a lot of people are aware of sexual assault, but I don't think that they're aware of the policies that schools have on these things, and I don't think that they're aware of like ASPSU's attempt at changing those policies and creating a safer environment. I think people need to become involved with those things, get the school's attention and say, hey, look, this is what we want, this is what we need, and this is what we think should be happening. So I guess, yeah, just awareness. Personally, I would like to just actually get the whole campus involved with a whole lot of things. But I suppose next year I would also like to kind of be involved with the actual process of continuing working on this sexual assault prevention thing we have going on in ASPSU right now. Thank you.
So, I guess to be honest, like my role at this point is to educate myself about the issue, partly because being a man, I have a privilege going through life not having to worry about sexual assault so much. I'm striving to educate myself. I know that one emphasis that has to be made is we have to help people understand that we shouldn't rape. It's the wrong focus to say here's how to avoid being raped. I would say that I would try to get more attention on the issue and share what I learned along the way. I think that's about all I can say about the issue at this point. The closing thing I want to say is, sorry about my alarm earlier, that was my cue to go to a 2 p.m. class, so I'll have to take off. This is the last you'll hear from me today.
Sexual assault awareness and prevention is something I'm really passionate about. Before I was in student government, I also volunteered at the Women's Resource Center and was a member of Reproductive Justice Action Team and was a front desk volunteer and was engaged with the advocate over there. And through ASPSU on the University Affairs Committee, we are talking about sexual assault prevention policy. A lot of the focus goes on making sure the university is aware that it is responsible to a certain extent for some of the things that happen on its campus, and that it is in their best interest to have a healthy, safe community and student body, and they need to provide support for students who have been assaulted. And not only that, but they need to be aware of that all of the things that are going on campus are to a certain extent a PSU problem. We are an urban school, and so we do deal with assaults that are not just student to student, but outside community member to student. I would really like to see more awareness going on as well. I know this month is SAM, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I really would love to see more conversations about what is consent, and when you give it, can you take it back? What does it mean? And when is it coercion and when is it more than that? And I really would love to see more awareness and more education. I think education is really the first part of this for a lot of students. And I think you cannot have a truly good deliberative discussion about something until people are educated on it.
Thank you.
And so we do deal with assaults that are not just student to student, but outside community member to student. I would really like to see more awareness going on as well. I know this month is SAM, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I really would love to see more conversations about what is consent. And when you give it, can you take it back? What does it mean? And when is it coercion and when is it more than that? And I really would love to see more awareness and more education. I think education is really the first part of this for a lot of students. And I think you cannot have a truly good deliberative discussion about something until people are educated on it.
Thank you.
Okay, this question is for Lucero, Luis, and Angel. What has ASPSU done in the past that you would like to continue? And what has ASPSU done in the past that you would either like to change or stop altogether? We can start with you, Lucero.
I think at least in the last year, ASPSU's efforts to get students more involved has been something that I want to continue. Again, student involvement is pretty important to me. I think it's the first step to anything getting done on campus. But also, something that I would change would be the accessibility of the government to the student body. I had to look to see who was my government. I think making ourselves more visible to the students is the first step to getting them more involved, because then it breaks that barrier between, this is us and then that's you, and makes you, as the government, more accessible and more relatable and more trustworthy, I think. And that's something that I think needs a little bit of tweaking, just because, making that accessibility easier to obtain.
For me, to be honest, I don't know what ASPSU has been involved in, and it's an interesting question to ask. Why don't I know? And I think it's because I've never talked to anyone from ASPSU, and why haven't I talked to someone from ASPSU? Why haven't someone from ASPSU reached out to talk to me? I really want to change that and be a part of ASPSU, to talk to people who usually wouldn't be talked to. That's what's important.
Could you please do me a favor and repeat the question?
Sure. What has ASPSU done in the past that you would like to continue? And what has ASPSU done in the past that you would like to either change or stop altogether?
Okay, I think that the best answer to that is, could you please look around behind you and see how many people came to this debate? Just look at you. Only the interested parties and 1 or 2 students who happen to be marooned here. Hi, we exist. Yeah, so there's only 6 people running for Senate this coming year. This is ridiculous. We need more advertisement. We had the same problem last year, and if anything, when we finally had a high turnout of students who wanted to join, then everything became a mess, and we got nothing but a bad rep after that. I mean, come on. We're more than just what happened last year. I would like to remind you of that. And we need more advertisement. We need to actually engage with the students out there. We could be out there talking to them about cultural competency and so forth. I gotta say though, we have had some level of success with, for example, the student pantry, which is, thank God, always stocked. There's an amazing new pantry coordinator who is taking care of that so far. And the students come in, they get what they need, and that's been working out great. Again, cultural competency. Now, something that I want to change next year is, I think that the exec they do a lot of work, and some of us senators sometimes tend to feel left out. I would like for the next administration, actually, I would like to challenge the next administration, whichever it is, to please restore power to us senators so we can do more work, so we can be used. We want to do our work. We want to earn our ELSA. So please, return power to the Senate, and don't think you can do it all, because you can't. That's what we are here for. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a follow-up for Joyce?
Actually, yeah, I do. Okay. All right, this question is for Monty, Liddy, and is David still here? Yeah. Okay, I can't see. So. There's been a lot of talk about lack of student engagement today at the debate, and my question for you is what strategies you have to increase student engagement involvement? How else will you engage the students?
I guess I'll start then. As Louise just mentioned, I am the new food pantry coordinator, which I am really excited about this job. I have already started working on it, and one of the problems I noticed with the food pantry is that it doesn't interact with students in the way they are used to interacting. It's not on Facebook. It doesn't have, there aren't recipes posted. It's not like this fully interactive experience, and I would like to see more of that in other areas. I think that statement can be applied to student government as well. That we don't talk with students the way they're used to talking about things, and I think that's part of it. We are separate in a lot of ways from a lot of the other student organizations, and I think that is one of the things that hurts us as far as engagement. I think when you approach somebody and you start talking about something that they're not expecting, it's harder for them to listen. So if you create an environment in which they're expecting you to speak, or they feel they have some idea about what you're going to say, or you're more connected with other student organizations, I think they can understand you better because they go in with some understanding of where you're coming from just from the beginning.
Okay. I think there's you can't place enough value on face-to-face interaction. One of the things that I would have loved to have seen throughout this 4 years is more engagement as far as ASPSU members actually going out to student events and making themselves visible at student events. Going to Japan Night, going to the Naimuna Powwow, going to any of the Black student leaders groups, any of those things, there should be someone. I mean, it doesn't need to be a rigid commitment, but something where there's, where it's spread out. If you've got 12 people, then that's 12 events that someone from ASPSU should be able to show up to. And just be a face that says, hey, this is your student body government. We're here. We are here. We're supporting you. I showed up today. Because showing up for each other, meeting people where they are, is I think how you get people involved. Is there any reason why we can't have events like, just a fun event in the park blocks, where, an ice cream social or something, where it's just a chance for students to interact with their student body government that's not in the office in Smith, just a place to interact. These are, to me, basic common sense ways that we can get involved and get students involved.
I don't think students know the power they have. Students have a lot of power, and the first thing I will do, or I will advocate for, is like to do the debate outside. They have a concert outside. I don't know why we didn't have the debate outside. I think probably we'll have more people listening to us. Second of all, I probably will try to more advertising for the elections, and maybe more time previous. But also more food, more food to all the ASPSU events. I think food is a good drive for the students to go to events and participate. Also, I think it's very important that we cannot just make students come and participate in SPSU, and because there are students that know that SPSU exists, but they just don't care, and most of the students are too busy. Like myself, I have a job outside of school. I am taking 4 classes and also part of SPSU, but I manage my way to be part of this organization because I want to do something for the students and I want to change society. So in order for the students to make them engaged to SPSU and to politics, is to make them aware of how the society is functioning. And also, students are too busy, like I said, working, having a job, more worried about their homework, and they are taking loans. They think the key is because they're taking a lot of debt, and they think that once, like I mentioned, I'll be fine. I don't need SPSU. Society is fine. It's just they think that they have their life is insured already after they graduate. But that's wrong, because there are not enough jobs for everybody. But once they realize that, they will be here in SPSU and trying to advocate for what they think is right and what they think is right for the students and everybody else.
Thank you.
Whatever you want to do. It's totally up to you.
food insecurity.
So this question is for Monty. Sorry to make you come back up again. Louise and Liddy.
This will be my last one. I have to go.
Several of you have mentioned it today, but food insecurity is something that students are really dealing with. A campus-wide survey conducted last year, which garnered 5,000 responses, found that roughly 60% of respondents suffered from some type of food insecurity during last academic year. What else are you planning to do to help alleviate student food insecurity?
Well, so that not being my area, I would defer to the person who is actually the coordinator for that. But there are a lot of opportunities out there in the community to try to establish relationships with local grocers and things like that to try to, boost the amount of food that we have available to give to students. I think it's really, really important to remember, though, that any idea that you come up with to try to reduce or address that issue has to be tempered with the fact that there's pride and people's privacy involved. It's a very sensitive issue. Not everyone is comfortable with having to say, yeah, I have food insecurity issues. So that has to be taken into account no matter what you come up with. So there's a lot of great forward-thinking ideas that come out that sometimes miss the mark simply because they don't take people's privacy or pride or their thoughts and feelings into consideration. So maybe more research.
Okay, so I have lots of ideas for improving this problem. But first of all, let's get to the background of the issue. Tuition is going up. People think, like David said, they think that they're gonna go get a job after graduating. Let's be realistic, that's not gonna happen. Tuition's gonna keep going up. Food's getting more expensive. And, like you said, 60% of the respondents said that they had some sort of food insecurity. We have a great pantry upstairs that runs from 12 to 2. We need to advertise that more everywhere. We have some other programs going around campus. CISFS, which I'm a part of, is doing a harvest share on, what is it, on Fridays? Monday?
13th, April 13th.
Yeah, thank you. And we got to put out word that there's out there. And another thing that I want to do is that I actually want to make the food recollection effort a little bit wider. Last year it was very compressed, and I really would like to see a donation box in every department. I want to talk to all the student groups. I want to talk to the athletic department. They have a new director who said that he wanted his athletes to get involved with the food pantry. We should reach out to them. We should reach out to Greek Life. What are they doing about this? Mostly to benefit the pantry. And right now, our aim for this term and next year is to keep it stocked. Monetary donations are also a must because we need money to buy food. So if everyone could send an email, imagine all the students of the university could send an email to their professors, the faculty and staff, to those who can afford food, that is, that we have a pantry that needs to be stocked. We should do that. Like I said, more advertisement.
So first of all, since we're talking about advertising, the food pantry is on the 3rd floor of Smith, room 325, Monday through Friday, open every day from 12 to 2. There will always be a volunteer, usually 2 volunteers in there while it is open. And then also talking about pride and privacy and dignity. I do want to say, while we are talking about food insecurity and we are talking about the pantry at the same time, the pantry is not just for people who identify as food insecure. The pantry is for everyone. And that is so we can maintain people's dignity, which I think is absolutely a priority. The pantry is for anyone who is a student who wants to go get 5 items of food. They can get 5 items every day. And I hope by saying that and helping people realize that this is not a exclusive resource. You don't have to prove anything to us. We don't need to know. We just need to know that you're a student, and beyond that, you don't need to talk about your food issues if you're uncomfortable with them. There's lots of people who do talk openly about them. One of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this and why I applied to be the coordinator is because it's really hard being a student. It's really financially hard. And when you're struggling to afford food and you're going to class and you've eaten like a granola bar in the last day, it's a lot harder to get things done. It affects students so much more than I think a lot of people realize. But going forward, what I'd really like to see is more community connections. I think that's really, really important. Been in the job for less than a week, but I've tried to talk to a lot of people about it because there is just so much more than we can do with community partners. And I'm a student employee. I will do as much as I can, but I'm also limited in my hours. So I recognize that I do need to make these connections and that this is a resource that should continue even when the student position changes or is not being filled. So having resources that can combat institutional memory loss is extremely important. And as far as advertising goes, it's similar to what I was saying last time I spoke, is that we need to talk to students the way they're used to talking about things, create a framework for discussion so that they know what to say.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, I'll let you.
All right, so we're going to move on to some questions from the audience. It's not too late to submit a question if you have one. Bring them up to me. But we also submitted a Google form earlier this week that people were able to submit questions online. And how many? There's 4 of you left.
Tell them to sit together.
Will you sit together so I can? Wow.
You can all answer them.
Yeah, you can all answer these questions. Just basically, first person to answer just goes back down, and the person staying down. So it's like musical chairs, but fun. All right. So the first question for all the remaining candidates will be briefly describe what your biggest failure is and your greatest accomplishment.
Are we going to the podium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fill the podium.
Please fill the podiums.
And this is just in general. Okay, I think my greatest failure as a student was not becoming involved sooner. I was definitely one of those students who the first couple years of my education, I felt like, I'm going to my classes, I'm doing my work, I'm getting good grades, and I'm going to work because I'm paying for my education by myself, like a lot of students are, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. So I wish I'd become involved much sooner than I did. Because now that I am, I realize that it aids me in ways that my classes didn't. It gives me more motivation to come to campus, which I know is hard on a commuter school. Sometimes you wake up, you're tired, you just got home from work, and you have to go to campus to go to your class. So having something at school other than just my classes has been really important for me. And it's been a way for me to make connections and learn about things that I never would have in my majors. I think my greatest accomplishment has really been just in the last few months, really embracing what the school offers outside of academics, making that change from a student who is not engaged to a student who is engaged, and making the decision that even though I am busy, that this is important enough to me and it's a priority to me, so I will carve out chunks of my day, no matter what's going on, to take a little bit of time to think about what I'm doing and to engage in student life consistently.
My failures and accomplishments are similar to Liddy's. I feel like I know what I'm passionate about. I know the things that I want to make changes in, but I just was never involved, at least not actively. And I think that really set me back and made me sort of an outsider in my own community. My accomplishment, I think, has been just sort of this past year jumping into things and just sort of getting rid of that fear of failing and getting rid of the fear of not feeling worthy enough to fill these positions. But I feel like I've gotten knowledge and I've gotten more confidence in the last year where I feel like I can do a good job in positions of leadership and in positions of power. So I feel like that's my biggest accomplishment, sort of gaining that confidence and that knowledge of the campus and the community, where I feel like I can really make a change.
For me, failures, I don't see, every time I fail something and I get up and do it again, I don't see my failures like failures. I see them like the learning, I learn something from them. I don't see I lose, I learn from them. So keep going. And one of my accomplishment will be like being here right now today speaking. An immigrant student, I came from Mexico with not knowing any English, and I start as a ESL student in Manhood Community College, not knowing any word of English, and I took 2 years there, and then I took ENL classes. I took another couple years there. I got my associates 2 years ago, and now I'm here. And I never thought I was gonna do that. You know, I was here in high school. I went to work. I was thinking that I might one day go to university, but it was just far away. And now I'm here. So I think that's one of my biggest accomplishments.
Could you please repeat the question and specify whether you want this answer to be greatest success or failure as a student or in life in general?
I think it's in general.
Okay. All right, well, it's time to get personal. Time to get personal with Luis. Okay, just kidding. First, allow me to begin with my greatest accomplishment. I was born with an ultra-rare disease called Fanconi's anemia, which affects your chromosomes and leads to bone marrow failure. When I was 13 years old, I had a bone marrow transplant, which got rid of that problem, sort of fixed my chromosomes, and that's something that back then, at least, only 25% of people who got a bone marrow transplant ever survived. My greatest accomplishment was that I survived. I'm still alive for some reason. That's why I am here. That's why I think God or whatever force you ascribe to put me here so I could do some work, so I could make justice happen for my fellow students, I suppose, and community in general. And my greatest failure was being in love. Don't get me wrong. Love is like the force that surrounds us. If I didn't love people, if I didn't love this great community, I wouldn't be here fighting for the community. But since I try not to take things too personal from now on, I try to see myself as a knight. And if you want to be a knight, you cannot have attachments. That's why I love student government, and this is why I'm, no strings attached to my personal life. Student government is my #1 thing.
Thank you. All right, so the next question is for all the candidates again, and it's why did you choose to run on the slate you chose to run on, or as an independent candidate?
Come on up.
So everyone's going to answer, so.
I'm running with my slate because my values, my ideas, and my commitments align with everyone else's on my slate, and I feel like because of that, we'll be able to move forward more smoothly, and the communication is going to be easier, and I think that's important in a good government.
Okay, I am also running on the same slate, which is Step Up, Speak Out, and Stand Together. I joined the slate because after meeting with them, I realized that we did have a lot of the same goals, and beyond that, I feel they're very competent, really result-oriented person, and I wanted to work with a group that I felt was going to achieve things, like actual, tangible things, and I think, I really think the slate will. I also think it's important going into next year to have a more cohesive, unified slate or student government, and I think having people who come from a slate who are who knew before they started working that year, who share a lot of the same values, is important to that.
Well, I'm part of, obviously, the slate name says all. Step up, speak up, stand together. That's what we need as students, that's what we need as a student government. And also, I don't know if you have noticed, like I'm very on the left spectrum, from the political spectrum. So this is the closest I can get. So, I'll be here.
independent, for the record. And I am doing so because I want to have the independence to do what I want, to run on whatever beliefs I want. I will be loyal and I will be compliant with whichever administration takes place. And again, if you remember last year, that was a huge mess. I think I would rather not have a huge target drawn on my back. I mean, I know this is just one big slate, and I wish you guys luck. I'm sure you'll do well. I'm spiritually attached to this slate, spiritually. And, you know, at the risk of sounding foolish once more, I think that the best way to summarize this, I had strings, but now I'm free. There are no strings on me.
Unreal.
All right, so this is the last question, also from the Google form. I'm really afraid for this one. If you can describe your ideal campus in less than 5 words, the person would appreciate that. That's the wording they used. That's for everyone, so. And if you want to put it to song like Luis, we'll be happy to hear it.
Should I wait?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
5 words, the campus. I think the one word will be transparency. Transparency of the institution, how it runs. Transparency between the administrators and the students, and transparency about the process, because I see a big lack in the institution, in most of institutions. Another word will be sustainability, and I would like to see that in all universities, and PSU is one of the universities that advocates for that, and I'm proud of being here for that too. Another word will be equality for all students to have a higher education and not make distinctions between the race, gender, or religious beliefs. I think education should be for everybody. Another word would be socialism, because I believe that right now in the United States, in the world, like it seems like people are waking up. It seems like the system, the economic system that we are living is not functioning, or it's functioning actually, but only for few people, and for very few people, and the rest is just not getting any of the wealth of the world. So we need to change that. How? That's our job. That's how we're gonna do it, all of it, all of us collectively. And my last word will be science, because I notice here in PSU there's like many people work in liberal arts, not too much science. I don't see too much science. I think we need more science in all universities, in more investment. The politics need to invest more in science so we can grow as a human race and, you know, explore the universe.
Yeah.
You know.
So the short little 5-word phrase that came to me was academically excellent and radically inclusive. Obviously that leaves a tremendous number of things out, but to be economical with words. I think this is an institution of higher learning, and that while students need being involved is part of that. I do think academics are an important focus, and I do think sometimes that actually gets left out of the conversation at a university, which is surprising, but it does. And then as far as radical inclusion, I think that can include so many different things. It means, to me at least, it would mean making school more affordable, because we are not inclusive of students who cannot afford this university. They just don't get to attend. And it would mean, similar to what David was saying about equality, it would be creating a campus where people of various backgrounds feel safe and feel included. cultural competency, which is the ability to interact with people from backgrounds different than your own, which is pretty much how we're defining it at ASPSU, and how it's defined in lots of other institutions is a huge part of that as well.
I first involved and aware student body, because I know that I've said that before, but I feel like that's the first step towards making anything happen, is having a student body who is aware of the issues that are going on, and then because of that, I feel like they will be more involved in changing issues they don't like, and keeping things going the way they do like them. So yeah.
No, I didn't put this into a song. That's okay. Sustainable, active, liberal, equal, and free from tuition.
What a vibe.
Nice. Was that everyone?
Yeah.
Closing statements.
How long are their closing statements?
2 minutes.
We do the audience questions.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to move on to closing statements. Each candidate gets 2 minutes to do a closing statement, whichever order you'd like to go. Luis, can you go first?
As many of you know, I am graduating this term, and I am choosing to continue because apparently I want to kill myself. After 8 years of studying and going ahead with my studies, not as a master's or as anything higher within my career, just a different career, in business, marketing, and psychology. So I can minor in psychology, so I can continue, use those ideas that I'm going to learn for student government, hopefully. And, last thing I can say is I hope to make this mostly empty room proud. And let's just keep going forward. Let's keep going forward with cultural competency, things like textbook affordability, trying to lower the tuition again, trying to pass cultural competency because there's going to be armed cops on campus from now on, which is not ideal in my opinion. And have a great rest of your term.
Liddy?
For closing, I think I'd just like to reiterate some of what I said in my opening and earlier arguments. I think I'm coming from a background which could make me an efficient member of ASPSU. I think that it's important to establish not only why we're passionate about this and why we want to do this, but why we'll be good at it. I think that's a huge part of it. I'm a current senator and the food pantry coordinator. I understand to whatever extent I can understand, having been as a part of student government for a few months now, how it works, and I really want to continue working with that process. I'm passionate about sexual assault prevention policy and cultural competency, and really about food insecurity, and I would love to continue having such a great framework to work on those issues in a meaningful way and to develop relationships not only within campus but with people outside of campus to continue that work even after I graduate. So, thank you.
David?
First of all, I want to say thank you for being here because I think you're giving value to this moment, to us as senators that we are running, and you care about student government. Thank you, Vanguard, too. So I will end also with the beginning of my speech, debate, presentation. I think I'm excited to work next year in SPSU because all the people that are running, will be very interesting. I feel like we can really create a student power here because we are not here just for us, or we are here because we want to change the way we are here. The things that we don't like, we are willing to challenge anything and anyone, and we are not afraid of that. And I want to create the student power with everyone, and I'm excited for that. And for my last sentence will be, I will do the best I will try to give the best for the students, and also like several of your questions, try to make students more engaged in student government. Thank you.
So I'm not too experienced with student government, but I think I make up for that in eagerness and commitment and passion for change that goes beyond me. I am very passionate about my campus. I'm excited and hopeful and eager to start serving it. And I hope that I can put the skills that I've acquired and the knowledge that I've acquired these past couple of years living here to use and to serve the student body.
All right, so we'd like to say thank you to all the candidates who came today to the debates. Thank you to the Vanguard for providing questions and everyone for attending. Remember, polls open 7 a.m. on Monday, so vote fast and vote often. Or
This isn't Chicago.
have fun. Bye.
Isn't it vote? What is it? Vote often, vote early.
Vote often, right.
Vote often. It's the Chicago.
Yeah.
Because they're corrupt. Thank you all so much for helping us out.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. I know we seemed frantic at some times, and we were, but I appreciate you being patient
See us
with
in the
us.
sub-basement, so this is much more organized than we normally are.
Yeah.
It's not
You
my
laugh 'cause
standard
it's
of
true.
organization, but, you know, we survived, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, there's still food over there, I think.
List of the write-ins who showed up today.
Do I have a list of them? I don't. I
Oh,
have their names, but I don't know their last names.
You.
I know Angel Ware,
got
but Marty, I forgot his last
My
name.
phone won't stop vibrating the whole
Oh,
time.
Monty. What is
just-
Angel's last name?
Ware.
W-A-R-E?
But I don't know Monty's last name.
Okay. I'm sure you can find him somewhere.
Yeah.
I know it, and it's gonna.
Marty, who? Marty's?
Yeah, Mom.
I forgot.
Well,
I know.
we have that recording in the board meeting, so if he was there, we can listen to that.
Well, we've done. He's been in stories before.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll just look it up and we'll let you know.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hey.
I submitted.
Can you help with like cleanup or anything?
I think we're good. If
Okay.
you want to take more food, I know there's more
Okay,
salad
cool.
and stuff. If you want more, please help yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can look at the structure I did.
do you have like an updated list of like the measures or the resolutions that are going to be?
Yeah.
I think Nathan
we'll
just sent
work
it right
on
before
that.
he
Okay.
emailed.
Oh,
'Cause I
perfect.
think it's hard when you're the one writing
The
something
resolution
to
is
see,
just the
like,
Constitution.
Okay.
what
The
the
referendum
things
failed
might be,
in the
like
Senate.
once they're like
Yeah.
involved in it.
So,
Okay.
yeah, they just finished editing like the final
Yeah,
page.
really.
Oh,
like,
perfect.
a
And I
lot
think he
that we
sent
can
it.
do.
Okay.
If he didn't, I will send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
pretty sure.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all. Is this,
I didn't get a
this is
chance to
Barb.
talk to Monty.
Yeah, we were just talking about we're gonna get his info.
I'm
so
gonna
we'll-
rush because my bladder's going to explode.
Okay, I'll meet
I
you
have,
down
like,
in the
5 of
office.
these. I'm sorry.
Bye.
Actually, I don't have time. Could you?
Go.
Thank you.
Bye, Chief. Yeah, it was. So what we can do is I'll look at like how the presidential vice presidential thing looks, and then we can probably do something similar.
Just a big old tablet and a
The
keyboard.
difficult thing about this is that like not everybody showed up, and then a couple of people had to leave early. Which like we can say that like in the intro or somewhere we can mention that, but we can basically do subheads again like cultural competency, engagement, like all the same bullet points. Yeah, so I think that's the best plan.
Thank you all.
Okay. I mean, nothing's on the page yet, so I mean, if you need some more time, would tomorrow night be okay, or?
Because it's just like, I have everyone in there except for 2 candidates. Okay. We're not the sound. That's the sound. Back.
Yeah, have you gone in contact?
Yeah, most of them. I think it's like 1 or 2.
Okay.
Okay, so, I mean, I'm okay with giving you until Friday or even Saturday night. Is that gonna be enough time for you?
Oh yeah, I can get it done by tonight.
Okay, yeah, don't kill yourself over it, because you're doing a lot. But, yeah, tonight, if you can, if you can't, no problem.